Ever opened your wallet and realized you just dropped more on cooling than on the rest of your gaming rig? That's the exact frustration I ran into when I started hunting for a pre-built that could actually keep up with an i9-12900K and an RTX 4090 without sounding like a jet engine. I mean, let's be real, those components are beasts that need serious cooling to unleash their full potential. Corsair's Vengeance i7400 series PC is one of the few pre-builts that pairs those two powerhouses with a proper closed-loop cooler and still fits in a standard mid-tower. In fact, it's so well designed that you'll barely even notice the cooling system in the background, and that's exactly what makes it so impressive. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon to see if it fits your gaming needs. Before we dive into the nitty-gritty, let me put things into perspective. When it comes to pre-builts, I've always been a bit skeptical. So, what exactly do you get out of the box? Well, let me break it down for you. You're looking at a 12th Gen Intel Core i9-12900K under a 240mm AIO, all-in-one, liquid cooler. This setup is absolute overkill for gaming, but it's a must-have for a CPU that's pushing the limits of what's possible. And trust me when I say it makes all the difference. I was able to push Cinebench multi-core scores for hours without even a hint of throttling or overheating. The card itself is an NVIDIA RTX 4090, so 4K gaming at max settings is totally doable without framerate dips. I mean, can you imagine playing your favorite games at 4K with all the bells and whistles enabled? Storage is a 2TB Gen 4 NVMe SSD, which means Windows, your favorite games, and a handful of 40GB plus AAA titles all fit without juggling drives. This is one of the biggest advantages of a pre-built, the storage is already taken care of, so you can. Enough about the specs, let's get to the performance. I ran a few quick benchmarks to see how it actually behaves. In Cyberpunk 2077 at 4K with RT Ultra and DLSS balanced, the frame counter hovered around 80 to 90 frames per second with the power slider untouched. Yes, you read that right, 80 to 90 frames per second at 4K with all the bells and whistles enabled. The only way to achieve that kind of performance is with a system that's optimized for gaming, and that's exactly what this pre-built delivers. Cinebench R23 multi-core hit 21,000 points, which is right where you'd expect an i9-12900K with decent cooling to land. The AIO keeps the CPU package temp in the low 70°C range after a half-hour stress test, so no thermal throttling sneaks in during long sessions. Noise levels are surprisingly tame, too. You'll hear the GPU fan spin up under load, but the pump stays quiet enough that you won't need to shout over your headset. Now, let's talk about who this machine is for. If you're the type of gamer who wants a plug-and-play experience without cutting corners, this is the perfect machine for you. If you're the type who upgrades every couple of years and likes to keep the warranty intact, a pre-built like this saves you the hassle of hunting down compatible parts and wrestling with BIOS settings. It's also a solid choice if you stream or multitask. 64GB of DDR5 gives you breathing room for OBS, Chrome, and a few Discord calls without the system choking. Of course, there are some caveats to consider. The case is a mid-tower, so if you're planning to drop in a custom water loop later, you'll need to measure clearance first. And keep in mind that Corsair's warranty only covers the whole system, not individual parts, so if you swap out the GPU later, you're on your own. Still, if you're in the market for a high-end gaming PC that's reliable, quiet, and capable of handling the latest. After spending some quality time with this machine, I can confidently say that it's one of the best pre-builts on the market. The cooling is genuinely impressive for a pre-built. The RTX 4090 delivers the performance you paid for, and the 2TB SSD means you won't be juggling storage anytime soon. And let's not forget the aesthetics. It's a stunning machine that looks and feels like a high-end gaming PC. Of course, there are some potential downsides to consider. The case size might be a limitation for some users, and the warranty limitations could be a problem if you plan to swap out components later. But overall, I think the Corsair Vengeance i7400 series is an absolute winner. If you're in the market for a high-end gaming PC that's reliable, quiet, and capable of handling the latest games at 4K, I highly recommend checking it out. You can find all the details in the description box below.